What's going on, YouTube? Marcus Crockett back with another video. And I'm going to tell you right now, the quickest way for you to ruin your business is to charge the lowest price possible. If you are dead set on just getting as many accounts as possible and charging the least amount of money as possible, you are putting yourself into a bad situation. You are building your business model. You're building your business on a faulty foundation. That is not a sustainable business model. You're gonna have to do so much volume to be able to make it make sense. And the learning curve, you're gonna have to pay your staff a decent wage for them to even want to be around to go through it with you. So charging the minimum price possible, that's not a good thing at all. Because there's always going to be someone who's out there that's willing to charge a lower price than you. And not only is there always going to be someone out there, well, you can't control that. There definitely will be someone that's willing to charge a lower price than you. But also, when you start into a new relationship with a client and your negotiation, the way that you negotiate, the way that you have put together your proposal is basically saying, hey, I'm willing to do this for the least amount of money possible, then that puts it in the customer's mind like, hey, we don't really value what you do. We value that you come in here and do this, but you save us so much money that the minute another company comes along and promises that they'll do what you do, or maybe even a portion of what you do at the same price or even lower, then we're done with you because we don't have any loyalty to you. We're only loyal to the lowest price possible. So you have to be very, very careful when you're starting out, or even if you've been in business for a certain amount of time, to not base your business model based on the lowest price possible. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is I had got an email yesterday from a property manager, and she has 2 condos that she manages in one of the more affluent cities in Washington State, if not on the West Coast per capita. Like they're well-to-do over there. They got a little bit of money. So her opening statement is, hey, how much will you, or she says, what is the cheapest price, your cheapest price possible, or something along those lines. I have to look at the email. I may attach it. What's your cheapest price possible? So I'm like, well, it depends on a lot of different things, but I need to see the building in order to give you a bid. And she was just kind of like, well, I just don't want to waste anyone's time. What the real question was, well, we should have went into a little bit further in depth. But what the real question should have been is, this is what my budget is. This is what the building looks like. This is what it is. Is this something that did you see as being entertainable? And then we would go from there. That should have been the real question. But we didn't really get that far. And it's to the point where if I have some stuff scheduled up there next week, we may build it around that. But for me to leave out here to go to all the way to Mercer Island and do these walkthroughs is almost pointless, because I'm not gonna bid on price. Like I'm not going to, when we go, we're going to make sure that we are going to provide the absolute best service possible, and we will be compensated accordingly. We're not going to give you Neiman Marcus quality at a Walmart price. And I would advise anybody who is brand new in business, or who is been in business and kind of struggling, to really think about, like, are you bidding at the lowest way possible? Is there any way that you can increase your knowledge, to increase your services, to charge at a higher rate? Because I don't care. Like, I would rather not have a customer than have a customer that's going to give me a headache. I would rather not have one. So we were actually servicing actually two dental offices, one next to the University of Washington, and the other one was the other one was in a city called Bellevue, right? And I'm looking at the prices that we quoted, although it wasn't a lot of, well, one of them, the one next to the University of Washington, it really wasn't big and it wasn't a lot of work. But in order for things to make sense in my new business model, I needed to upgrade prices. So I waited until we were servicing them for a little over a year. And, you know, we've always done good work. There's never, ever been any complaints or anything. I messaged them and I laid out what our new rates were going to be. And I told them, like, hey, I understand, like, this is a significant rate hike, but you're definitely you're definitely free to explore the market. But I need to know something, because on the first of the month, we're no longer serving. Well, if I don't hear anything, then we're going to upgrade prices. But, let me know if this isn't what you want to do, so that way we can, give all keys back and everything by the first of the month. So what ended up happening was we actually ended up losing both of those. He had two offices, so we ended up losing them. And I'm perfectly okay with losing them. Perfectly okay with it, because it was almost costing me money. Like, the margins weren't there on these two accounts. They weren't there at all. On the one next to University of Washington, they were. But the other one in Bellevue, the margins, they just weren't there. So I was like, you know what? I would rather not even have to worry about it. Like, I will give you these accounts back. You can have them and move on. But, I'm only saying all that to say, like, and that was a long way to say that, just be careful. Charge what you're worth. Don't be afraid to say what you're worth. I know sometimes when you're first starting off, or you feel like, man, that's a lot of money. I don't know if I should charge that, or a small piece of the pie is better than no pie at all. Like, nah, you can't think like that, because at the end of the day, we ain't trying to get pieces of the pie. We trying to own bakeries, and you know what I mean? That's what we trying to do. We're not worried about a small piece of the pie. We want to build bakeries around here. So with that said, you know what I mean? Move on and price your quotes out accordingly. Price your proposals out accordingly. I did have a walkthrough. Actually, I just finished the walkthrough, and I forgot to